School Committee meeting, today, March 8th, 2021. Can we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. In a moment of silence. Thank you. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting laws, Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, relating to the coronavirus outbreak emergency, this meeting is physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. However, this meeting is being streamed live on Comcast Local Channel 98 and will be replayed on both local cable channels 9 and 98. A recording of this meeting will also be posted on the WB Cam website, www.wb-cam.org. If any member of the public wishes to comment during tonight's meeting, they may do so during the public comment portion. Please note, we will only be able to hear the public during this time. The listing of matters are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. I would like to introduce our student representative, Mr. Adam Smith. Welcome. Welcome. At this time, I would like to have an approval of the minutes from the February 8th, 2021 school committee meeting.
Moved.
Second.
Moved. Second. Any discussion?
So there, I just wanted to point out one thing on the February 8th agenda. We had a visitor, Senator Timilty came, and we had said that we received football pictures, and there were also girls cross-country pictures in there. And so we've included that in the minutes, but that's one change that's in there.
Great. Thank you so much, Molly. Any other further discussion or comments? All in favor? All in favor? Aye. 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 May I also have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 2nd, 2021 budget meeting?
Moved.
Second.
Moved. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Oh, and I forgot it as well. If we could just raise our hand so our school committee secretary, Maureen Ellis, would be able to properly identify who moves and seconds. I forgot about that. And now under the superintendent's update, Mr. Boswell would like to discuss the school choice applications.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Sullivan. As I stated last week, we have had 155 school choice applications. I've been told that's the most ever since we started doing school choice. I want to just give a few updates for people who may be watching or may have questions about school choice and how we will be looking to implement it for next school year. For kindergarten and grade 1, we are delaying all decisions until approximately May, until all West Bridgewater residents have registered. That's what we've done in the past, so we're just sticking to past practice for that in terms of putting out letters. Actually, letters will go out soon, just letting all those who applied for kindergarten grade 1 know of this delay so they're not anticipating hearing anything about what spots may be open. For grades 2 to 12, what we'll be doing starting next week is checking in the enrollment data for each grade level. And it's kind of a rolling almost admissions depending on the number of spots that are open. This will occur from March through May. And then depending on the grade level, depending on the need, it could continue longer. So we'll start to be putting stuff out, but if people have questions or concerns, they can always reach out to the superintendent's office and we will certainly answer them to the best of our ability. Traditionally, our highest numbers for school choice have been in grades 7 and 9, due to the fact that when they're in grade 6, we are adding a section basically when they go into 5 sections in grade 7 at the middle senior high school, and in grade 9 when we lose students to Southeastern Regional and the occasional student to a private school. So we'll backfill those spaces. And then we look at each individual grade and see where we can reasonably add students. We have never and never will over add students into our student population, so it adversely affects our class size. So this clearly demonstrates that the families want to come to West Bridgewater, and that's a huge credit to all of our educators and our entire school community that this many people are pursuing coming to the West Bridgewater Public Schools. So thank you to all who have created this great learning environment.
Thank you, Mr. Bardwell. I'm sorry? I can't hear you. And next would be a winter athletic update.
All right, I do have information here from Mrs. Hamill. She's given me quite a good write-up from the coaches, so I'm going to go through and read about each of the teams in the winter season. She said, what an exciting season it was. Thank you to our school committee, administration, facilities crew, coaches, athletic trainer, parents, and our student athletes for their support in helping to execute an amazing winter season. We did it, and if you know Ms. Hamill, you can just see her pumping her fist right there. Here are some of the highlights for the winter season. Boys basketball. The boys basketball team had a fantastic season, finishing with 11 wins and 5 losses. They played a tough schedule, competing against Bridgewater Raynham, Durfee, East Bridgewater, and other Mayflower teams. The boys made it to the Mayflower Conference Finals, where they ended up losing to Westport to a very tenacious squad. The team is graduating 3 seniors, Ben Skinner, Brady Roderick, and Dylan Leonard, with 9 returning players, freshman Thomas Stapleton, sophomores Ryan McGrath and Tommy Perna, juniors Ryan Hume, Aiden Baker, Zachary Bellady, Nathan Raza, Tommy Sheedy, and Chase Ryan. The Wildcats had some awesome wins, including games at East Bridgewater, home versus Westport, and a playoff win at Bishop Conley. The team should be commended for how well they did handling all the COVID adjustments and taking these new challenges with a smile on their faces. The student athletes did what it took to keep themselves safe and on and off the basketball court. They worked extremely hard at practice and in games, always giving it everything they had. Fantastic job, WB Hoops. Girls basketball. The West Bridgewater girls varsity basketball team, led by senior captains Colleen O'Toole, Sarah Corey, and Kelsey Connors, went 13-1 on the season, including a win over Division I opponent Durfee and winning the Mayflower League tournament over a tough Westport team. Returning letter earners include Dorothea McGrath, Amanda Jakes, and 8th grader Sophia Florio, played with determination and no quit attitude. The team's first year players, freshman Janella Jacobs and Mia Harrington, along with sophomore Olivia Raza, contributed greatly to the overall success of the team. For those who do not have an opportunity to see this team, you should be very proud of this group. Their team first attitude was displayed on and off the court, and with constant praise received from coaches around the league for their character. Great job, Wildcats. Gymnastics. The co-op varsity gymnastics team of Bridgewater Raynham and West Bridgewater have won their 5th consecutive Cranberry League championship with a season high of 142.25. Their closest competitor was a team from Notre Dame Academy with a 136. BRWB has continued their undefeated regular season for the 5th season. As all sports had a new normal this season, the girls treated each practice and competition as if it were training for another state championship. The amount of positive energy and team spirit was unmatched this season. With no spectators and sometimes no other team in the building, the girls motivated each other and supported each other as if there were 10,000 fans in the building. As much as we would have wanted a normal season, we couldn't have been more proud of how the athletes handled this season. Congratulations. Girls ice hockey. Webb had its first year at the varsity level. Webb rostered 15 players, 1 goalie, and 14 skaters, in which 5 players were from West Bridgewater and 10 from East Bridgewater. Webb played a total of 10 games in the Patriot League ended 0-10. However, as a group, Webb had a total of 17 goals with 6 different players contributing and a total of 19 assists, with 9 players assisting on the 17 goals scored. Webb was expected to start December 14th, but had a pause in practice and then an unexpected 14-day quarantine, which started them back on January 7th. They had 4 practices to prepare for their first game at the varsity level against Pembroke. Given the circumstances, Webb made important strides with a short season, showing that they became more competitive as the games went on. Below are examples of how close the goal differential was on the teams they played twice. The first game against Pembroke, they lost 7-0, and the second time 4-0, decreased the goal differential by 3. They lost to Plymouth 7-2, and the second time 5-2, decreasing by 2. And lost to Quincy 9-0, and the second time 8-3. In the highlight of the season, they lost to Situate 5-4, in which they proved they can compete at the varsity level. Great job, Webb. We look forward to next season. And a quick update on Fall 2 season. We're off to a great start with the Fall 2 season, which consists of football, boys ice hockey, winter track, and cheer. We have our first varsity football scrimmage versus Upper Cape this Friday, home at WB with a 3:30 start, and our first boys ice hockey game is away on March 24th versus Cape Cod Tech at 6:20. As soon as Ms. Hamill receives updates from the Southeast Conference on winter track virtual meets, she and the coaches will email the information to the athletes and to the parents. Spectators for football and winter track will be home fans only. 2 parent guardians and siblings of players only. Ms. Hamill will be working on getting lanyards for admission into these events. Stay tuned for more information. As she receives more information on spectators for boys ice hockey, she'll email it out to the families and the students. And finally, looking forward to the spring season. The spring season dates are as follows: May 5th to June 26th. Please know that with the fluidity of COVID-19 situation, these dates could change. The Family ID registration will be open in the next couple of weeks. Please be aware they'll be using Term 3 grades for eligibility to play spring sports. Also, please look at your students' physicals. Physicals are valid for 13 months from date of examination. A student cannot participate without a valid physical on file in the nurse's office. Finally, please have your students check their school email, and she'll send out many updates and information through the school email. Again, thank you to everyone for their hard work and dedication to our student athletes. We got this, and let's go Wildcats. And any questions, please contact Ms. Hamill at jhammill@wbridgewater.com. And I just want to reiterate, it's been awesome to have our athletics. I know we've had drama. We're running extracurricular activities. These are all things that are super important for our kids and for our families and for our community. So I'm so glad that the school committee and the coaches and the student athletes and the families have supported athletics and all the extracurricular activities for our kids.
Just to clarify, we didn't have drama with athletics. We had drama and then, okay.
Correct. Thank you. I was just trying, I didn't want to leave anyone out. I know this is comprehensive, but I didn't want to leave anyone out of this.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. And next, under the superintendent's update, Mr. Bodwell, the school reopening topic.
Yes. At the meeting last Tuesday on March 2nd, I presented a lot of information. That information has been posted on our website under the COVID-19, on the COVID-19 page. This is kind of just a follow-up from that meeting. I did say at that meeting we would have an update at tonight's meeting. Our school numbers continue to remain low. Over the past 14 days at the schools, we've had 5 cases. The state numbers remain low. We continue to have support of the Board of Health, our school doctor, DESE, and the governor, as well as the American Academy of Pediatrics. When we met on Tuesday, we had a meeting planned for Wednesday, which consisted of our lead nurse, Julie Diedrichson, our school doctor, Dr. Murphy, and Rob Casper from the Board of Health. We had quite a few staff attend the meeting virtually. I thought they did a great job providing an overview of information and then also answering the questions and concerns from our staff. So I, again, want to publicly thank them for taking their time to come in here and get that information out. That's real. I took a a couple of slides to go along with. That's all right. Again, when we talk about why we're looking to get back, and again, it's just highlighting what we've done before and what we know, that the social, emotional, and mental health needs of our students are of utmost importance, along with the educational learning gaps that have been identified. And every day we're out, we know those gaps continue. Nothing will replicate the in-person learning of our kids. We know it creates stress on all the family. And again, that's, from kid to family, and it, creates some stress on our staff as well. We want to get back to having our full school community. It's great to have, most, not all, but most of our seniors back in here. I think that's a very positive thing, looking to get all of our kids back. And again, it's been a long year. When, I know myself, you get these pop-ups on your phone and you see it 1 year ago and things are, just starting to change. We need to get back to the normalcy of life. And I think we're certainly moving in that direction. There certainly are some challenges for us as we continue the planning. I know that our teachers and our administrators are continuing to work hard to plan for the inevitability of coming back. The vaccine update, today we've had quite a few of our staff get their first dose or potentially or have one scheduled, which is very positive. Unfortunately, as we said, we had a great plan in place to vaccinate all of our staff at the same time, but that plan was pushed to the mass sites and not to the local sites. There is still talk that potentially we could get vaccinations in town, but there's nothing definite yet, which would be great. When we look at coming back, we're looking at 3 to 6 feet. For a majority of our students, they would be at 4 feet, but they would not go less than 3 feet. So ideally, in most of the classrooms, we'd get it to 4 feet, but there will be some at 3 feet. We do know that if we go under the 6 feet, that we will have more students. If we do have students test positive and they have been in school for the past 48 hours, we will have more close contacts. I know that our administrators and teachers are working hard because there's going to be modifications to the classes. We'll be taking kids out of a class that they may have been in for the whole year, which we know won't be easy. And we appreciate the parents and the students' patience with this. They're getting teachers that are our teachers. We're not hiring new teachers. They've been the hybrid teachers. But we know that it's going to not be the easiest to transition, mid-year for that. The cafeteria spacing will remain at 6 feet for any time that they're eating, so they can safely take off their mask. That is a problem in the entire state, trying to figure out how to be at 6 feet. So the administrators are working with the teachers to figure out how we can do that. Some in the classrooms, some in the cafeteria, and make sure that they're all maintaining that 6 feet. At the elementary, we do have the fully remote teachers, and we know at the middle, senior, high school, our teachers are teaching both the in-person and the remote. So we know that with the keeping of the fully remote students, that they'll be still looking to teach those kids. So it's something we need to work out with the teachers union. In some cases, we're going to need to move some furniture around, bringing back tables, moving desks in and so forth, moving desks into more common areas for eating purposes. Hopefully we don't need to add any furniture. I don't think so. I think we'll be able to repurpose what we already have. But there is a potential. I met with the Roselle staff today, and they said, hey, we saw some pictures of when I was with the kindergarten. They saw the dividers that we had. They said, is there any chance we could get some of those? So Mr. Goulet is going to look into that to see what we can do when they're in small groups. So we're certainly listening to our teachers and seeing what they need. And if we can do it, we will certainly do our best to make sure they feel safe and we get the products that they need. There's a lot of procedures and protocols that we'll need to update, we'll need to review. This is not a quick turnaround kind of thing. That's why we're having this discussion. It's been an ongoing discussion. Transportation, they did reduce the guidelines. So now you can have 2 students on each seat in a bus. Again, that's going to help. When we make the determination of when we're going back, I'll be sending information out to the parents to find out how many kids are riding on the bus We have not been overcrowded on the bus, and we have not traditionally had 3 students on a seat in a bus, so I do not think it's going to be an issue. But that's some of the information we're gonna have to gather from the parents to find out how they'll be transporting. If they're not transporting via bus, which is great, that's just gonna then add to the number of, drop off and pick up. So again, something we're going to have to look at. And we're gonna maintain the remote learning for the remainder of this year. We're asking the families and administrators to talk about it, what the need is, because ideally, if possible, we want to get as many kids back in. And from talking to administrators, more and more people are going from remote to in-person. But that will be an option that is open just for this end of this year. So what we're doing is we're looking to discuss with the school committee a full in-person learning starting on Monday, March 29th for K to 12. Then we've been asked many times in many different meetings for dates of return. I was asked today by the Roselle teachers. I think people need to have a date for planning purposes. I think it's, at this point, people have potential daycare issues, or they have, stuff that they need to plan for pickup and drop off. And teachers certainly need to plan for their classrooms and what the classrooms are looking like. The administrators need to plan. So we need a date to focus on. And I know that there are many districts going back before this, and their districts going back after. We feel that 3 weeks is a reasonable amount of time when we've been talking about this for a while. Again, it allows time for the necessary preparation to assure a safe and well-planned return to school for administrators, staff, students, and families. And we'll continue to work with our teachers union to make sure this plan will work for everyone involved. We've always been committed to that. We've had ongoing meetings. We've had great working relationships with them. That will continue. And again, the goal is for a safe return for all of our students and back to normal for our kids. So that's where I'm at with putting information out.
Thank you, Mr. Bodwell. I just want to reiterate that there has been a tremendous amount of communication between teachers and, administration, the school committee with teacher, union reps and so forth, dealing with trying to execute MOAs. We've been successful with executing 2, trying to get through this, COVID pandemic. And I believe that your March 29th date is reasonable. It's not going to come as a surprise, I hope, to anyone. It's going to, I hope, as well come with excited anticipation as well as concern for safety. I think there is a balance there somewhere. So I support that. So thank you for all of that information and just trying to keep everyone, fully informed. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And next is from our student representative, Adam Smith will update the committee on the happenings at each school. Don't forget to take that off mute.
All right, so we're going to start with the Spring Street School. The last few weeks have been very busy at the Spring Street School. The kindergarten students have begun working on how to write complete sentences and practicing their addition facts. They excitedly celebrated the 100th day of school with some fun activities during the remote session on Wednesday. Preschool registration for the next school year will begin on March 15th for any new families. Registration information can be found on our district webpage. The Roselle McDonald. Students celebrated the 100th day of school with lots of fun activities in the classroom. First grade students came dressed as 100-year-olds, and Miss Elf's third grade class celebrated with a glow party that signified the students being 100 days brighter. The school-wide reading challenge came to an end, with a total of 188 students participating in reading for 1,105 hours in total. It was a tight race, but ultimately, grade 2 came away with the win, reading a total of 469 hours. Mr. Russell's grade 3 class had the greatest percentage of participation at 96%, and Ms. Crawford's grade 2 class read the most for a total of 157 hours. The Howard School celebrated the 100th day of school and the 1000th day of school for our 5th graders in their school career. They also did a twin day where students and teachers dress up as each other throughout the day. Student Council and Little Leos continue to do virtual meetings, and the yearbook committee is working full steam ahead. The 6th grade is making plans for a COVID-friendly Nature's Classroom adventure. More info to come soon. The high school. The drama club held their first performance of the season in close proximity. Students and staff did an amazing job. We also had a successful winter season these past months, and we want to congratulate the following teams on an outstanding season. Congratulations to the girls basketball team for winning the league championship, the boys basketball team for competing in the league championship finals, and the Bridgewater Rainham West Bridgewater gymnastics team for winning the Cranberry League championship. Also, congratulations to the WEB ice hockey girls team for competing in their first season as a varsity team in the Patriot League. The Fall 2 season is now underway, and we're excited for some amazing games/meets in football with cheerleading, boys ice hockey, and winter track. Students have just finished their course sections for the 2021-2022 school year. Also, I'd just like to add a quick thank you to Mrs. Page, Mr. Frost, and everyone else who's been working diligently on helping the seniors have a good year this year. We appreciate you guys. That's all from me.
Thank you. Next on the agenda under business, Mr. Bodwell, the Director of Student Services.
Thank you, Ms. Sullivan. I want to first start by thanking the co-chairs of the search committee, Mrs. Page and Mrs. Goulet, for all their hard work in leading the committee. I'd like to thank all of our 9 members. We had staff, varied staff, and parents who sat in and conducted the initial interviews. 3 finalists were interviewed, all very good and strong candidates. And at this time, I would like to recommend Mrs. Kathy Marble for you for appointment to the position of Director of Student Services in West Bridgewater. I feel that she's the best person for the position for West Bridgewater now and moving forward in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Bodwell. And may I have a motion to appoint, oh,
So I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mrs. Marvel as our new Director of Student Services.
moved,
Second.
second. Is there some discussion?
I would just like to say I had the honor of being on the search committee along with other parents and staff at the middle senior high school, the Howard School, the Spring Street School, and the Roselle schools were all represented. Thank you so much for chairing the committee, Mrs. Page and Mrs. Goulet. You guys did a great job. It was really refreshing to hear from all the candidates. They were excellent, and even it also just confirmed that Mrs. Marvel is the right person for the job. And I'm so happy that she is being offered the position. She's done an excellent job over the past year, and I'm just really proud to have you continue on with us. So thank you. And thank you so much to everyone who contributed. It's a great process to be a part of, and I'm glad I got to be a part of it. And I think we have good things to come. It's very exciting.
Could we have all in favor? All in favor? Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
You want to say? Hi, everyone. I just wanted to thank everyone, Mark, school committee, hiring committee. I'm really excited to continue on as the Director of Student Services here at WB. I've been here for 18 years in the classroom, and this past year, jumping into the administration has been interesting and exciting, and I'm really looking forward to continuing with all of you. Thanks again.
congratulations and thank you. And next under business on our agenda is the 2021-2022 school calendar, which is also a voting issue. Mr. Bodwell? Mrs. Page? No, Mr. Bodwell, excuse me. You're next.
You have a copy of it. If there are no changes, it could be approved as presented.
Could I have a motion to approve the 2021-2022 school calendar as presented?
Moved. Second.
Any discussion?
One thing, I thought on 12/23, we have it listed as a half day. And in a couple of past years, we've had the opportunity to take longer winter break because of where the holiday lays. And this year it's shorter than usual, with only having 6 days off. So instead of doing a half day on that 23rd, I was thinking we could do a not have school on that day to extend the break.
Isn't that typically the day that classrooms have their celebrations and wind down before break? So if that was a day off, then I feel like we would be impacted from a full learning day. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the teachers can leave after that half day.
That is correct. It's not a professional development half day. It's otherwise stated in on the school calendar. It's a true half day for students and for staff.
Without professional development. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but it's my 2 cents.
I mean, I would second, actually your perspective, Donna, on that. It's for me, I would not really be in favor of having the 23rd be no school day. I think just because every minute of learning time that we can get is where I'm coming from right now. So I don't know. Mr. Finland, Mr. Yo, do you have any input?
I kind of look at that, the day, the half day is kind of like Mrs. Hume said, a celebration day, so to speak. The kids can have that day to wind down. They have their parties, type of thing. So I would be still in favor of keeping the schedule the way it is.
All right, could we, is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. And next on the business portion of the agenda is the community service requirement hours. Mrs. Page?
Hello, thank you. I come before the committee tonight. We typically have yearly 20 hours of community service for our seniors to graduate as a requirement. We have, in talking with our senior class and some of the officers, they have discussed about, a harder time this year, being able to find the opportunities that they've been able to have in years past. So I tend to agree with them. So if approved by this committee, I would like to maybe cut the hours in half. I still think there's ample opportunity to give back, for our kids to give back 10 hours out of a 170-day year. So I would like to see them, do some service. 10 hours, though, I think is doable. I think 20 at this point, I feel like they have enough stresses right now. So relieving some of that due stress for this year only would be helpful for them.
Adam, do you have anything you'd like to say about that?
I'm an AP student. I am JHS president, student council secretary. I have a lot on my plate right now, and it's very difficult to find time to volunteer, especially with the lessened opportunity. So I feel as though that would be a really good motion for us.
And then you also have the hours that are associated with the Honor Society,
Yeah,
correct?
so I have to do 20 hours yearly for that as well.
Excellent. I'd like to have a motion to support the reduction from the 20 hours
for the
for the community service
requirement to reduce down to 10 hours for the
senior
requirement,
graduation requirement.
The class of 2021.
For just this year.
Just
This
this year.
Moved.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I thank you for our seniors. I know they'll be really happy.
And thank you, seniors. And next on the business portion of the agenda is the budget, which is also a voting issue. Mr. Bodwell.
So at that last Tuesday's meeting, I presented a lot of slides and we went through the budget and talked about some background information. So I'm not going to go back over them because I think we went through that. Hopefully answered questions that people may have had. I think what we would like to do is I think we're prepared to move forward. Hopefully after school committee approval to Selectmen and Finance Committee with what we feel is a fiscally responsible budget that takes into account the needs of our students and the community. And that would be with an increase of $665,638, which comes out to a 4.8% increase over last year's appropriation. Mrs. Grant and I are here certainly to answer any questions that may be out there as well.
Thank you, Mr. Bodwell. With regard to the budget as presented, may I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Moved, second. Any discussion?
So just can we clarify a couple things about the budget? So on here, the budget still includes the cost of living increases for the employees that are in a union contract right now. Is that correct? Okay. So, but the employees that are not in a union contract, there was no increases included in this budget.
Correct. I think yes, they would come out of contractual benefits if they did, but they're not included, they're not shown in the line items.
There's not money included because that line item is funded less than it has been in years
That
past.
does vary. I'll let Mrs. Grant also fill in, but that does vary. It has that contractual benefits. Not only is increases, but it's also buybacks for teachers and other retirement, any kind of retirement incentive.
But it doesn't have any money. Right, but it doesn't have any money in there to consider non-union employees increases. Okay.
Any other questions or any other discussion?
Just as always, thank you for helping Mr. Bodwell and Mrs. Grant and everyone else that spent a lot of time putting the budget together. I know it wasn't an easy year. So thank you for all your hard work.
Very well. It's good work by Mrs. Grant. First year, it's a little bit of a learning experience, so thank you.
All in favor of the budget as presented for fiscal year 22?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Thank you again. And last, under our business section, inclusion matters update from Mrs. Smith.
So we do have an event that is being put on by Bridgewater State University, actually, but we are advertising it here with our Inclusion Matters, and there's more details on how to get to it on our Inclusion Matters Facebook page. But on Wednesday, March 31st at 6:30 p.m., the program is A Little Negativity Goes a Long Way, and it's being presented by our own Inclusion Matters President, Dr. Melissa Winchell, to talk about how to stay, just be okay during these times that are tough. So I encourage you to jump on there. But most importantly, if you check out the Inclusion Matters Facebook page, you can get more information about all the other great programs that are being offered throughout the state.
Excellent. Thank you, Molly. And under warrants, the warrant subcommittee report That would be from myself. The following warrants were issued and paid for fiscal year 2021. Under the bill warrants dated February 4th, 2021, in the amount of $21,089.53. Bill warrant dated February 11th, 2021, in the amount of $72,294.45. A bill warrant dated February 18th, 2021, in the amount of $148,505.20. Last bill warrant dated February 25th, 2021, in the amount of $11,988.77. There's two payroll warrants. The first one dated February 19th, 2021, in the amount of $509,593.18. And then second is a March 5th, 2021 payroll warrant in the amount of $526,132.62. As always, all warrants are public record, and once they're signed, they are available in the Selectman's office for review. This brings us to our public comment section. Members of the audience wishing to address the committee may do so at this time. Audience members are reminded that personnel issues or issues that would violate a student or employee's confidentiality cannot be addressed during the public comment portion of this meeting. I would ask now that if you could turn off your or unmute yourself to call in, we'll give you a few moments to do that.
Hello?
Yes.
State your name and then your comment.
Hi, this is Angie McCormick. I was wondering about the schools. Are we going back 4 days or 5 days? And was that K through 12?
Hi, yes, thank you. We are looking to come back 5 days, and we're looking for K to 12.
Okay, thank you. And then I also have another question. I know a couple times memorandums of agreements were talked about. Is that something that each parent has to request to look at, or will that be on the website to be accessible?
All MOAs are public documents, so if anyone wants to see it, we certainly can. I don't know if we've traditionally posted them on a website. I can certainly check on that, though.
Okay, great. Thank you. A lot of parents have been asking, so I wasn't sure.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak?
And Ms. McCormick, could you just please mute your phone again, please? Thank you.
Do teachers get copies? Oh, sorry. Do teachers get copies of the memorandum of agreement after they sign them with the union? Do you guys distribute them to the teachers? The actual copy?
We'll just give people one more minute. And if you are on the phone and do wish to speak, I believe it's *6 to unmute.
All right, so we're going to continue and leave the public comment section, having no other callers. Under our calendar section, district-wide for the school, district-wide meetings for school council meetings, the Howard School on April 12th, 2021 at 2:45 p.m., which will be virtual. The Roselle McDonald School will have their school council meeting next is March 29th, 2021 at 3:30 p.m., also virtual. The Spring Street Schools school council meeting will be April 5th, 2021 at 3 p.m., which is also virtual. PTO's meeting is March 30th of 2021 at 7 p.m. at the Roselle McDonald School. The next Athletic Boosters meeting is March 10th, 2021 at 7 p.m., which will be virtual. And announcing the first ever school committee coffee hour is scheduled for March 10th, this Wednesday at 8 a.m. at the Roselle McDonald School. We are allowing, not allowing, but trying to encourage people to come in person to attend this meeting. So we are going to have the option of in-person as well as virtual. If you choose to attend in person, if you could just either drop your name on Donna Hume's Facebook page or on my Facebook page, I'm Susan Sullivan, or contact our school committee secretary, Maureen Ellis, and just let her know so we could have enough notice for planning purposes to remain safe under the COVID regulations. Is there anything else on that, Donna? Okay. Under the middle senior high school, on March 11th, 2021 is the Webb Girls Ice Hockey Pizza Dinner at the Middle Senior High School Cafe. On March 12th, 2021 is the Middle Senior High School's Coffee Hour at 8 a.m., which is also virtual. On April 9th, Mark's Close. On April 9th, there is the tentative prom. And is that for current seniors? Current juniors, April 9th. And then April 30th is for the current seniors. And where is that going to be at? At the Mockingbird. Everything is tentative. Yep, fingers crossed. And April 12th, the middle school MCAS ELA for cohort A. And I would just like to note that Mr. Hyde is laughing in the audience. He's chuckling, very aggressive. Yes. Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, you should have been. Sorry about that. You did just say that at the school council meeting today. I'm so sorry. Yes. So we can just rewind. That's not applicable now. Sorry. But Mr. Hyde's laugh was. I'm sorry, Mrs. Page. So stay tuned. Under the Howard School, April 6th, Mark's Close. Roselle McDonald. On April 5th, Life Touch Spring Individual Pictures for Cohort A. On April 6th, Mark's Close. And on April 8th, the Life Touch Spring Individual Pictures for Cohort B and C. Under the Spring Street School calendar, on March 15th, 16th, and 17th will be the preschool registration online. And then on March 29th is the kindergarten registration online. The next regular school committee meeting is Monday, April 12th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. in the Middle Senior High School Learning Commons. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second.
Moved, second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Good evening. Thank
Good
you.
night.